Jai Gurudev. Today we are fortunate to have with us an expert from the Art of Living Foundation and an officer from the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan. We will discuss how the profound lessons from War and Peace can be applied to Art of Living teachings such as Sudarshan Kriya, Sehat Samadhi meditation, Trikal Sandhya, and other spiritual practices. We will also explore how these learnings foster compassion and commitment for seva or service, work, and leadership in organizing and teaching Art of Living programs. Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us. Jai Gurudev, and thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to delve into such a deep and thought provoking topic. War and Peace teaches us many lessons, such as the importance of self reflection, duty, and inner peace. How do you think these lessons can be integrated into the art of living practices like sadhana and Sudarshan Kriya? Yes, so one of the key lessons from War and Peace is the importance of self reflection and inner peace, as seen in the characters like Pierre and Prince Andrei. This aligns deeply with sadhana or spiritual practices, especially Sudarshan Kriya. In Sudarshan Kriya, the rhythmic breathing technique helps one cleanse the mind and body of stresses, which is essential for finding inner peace. Just like Pierre's spiritual awakening in prison, participants often experience a similar shift in their consciousness when they regularly practice sadhana. The lesson of duty emphasized throughout the novel speaks to the commitment one must have toward daily sadhana, even in the most turbulent times like the chaos of war in the novel. Maintaining your spiritual practice, just like Pierre and Prince Andrei, reflect on life during war, brings you a sense of centeredness and clarity. Meditation is a significant part of the art of living teachings. How do you see the lessons of inner peace and the ephemeral nature of life from War and Peace aligning with Sehat Samadhi and guided meditation? Absolutely. War and Peace repeatedly touches on the fleeting nature of life, especially in scenes like Prince Andreas' reflections during his near death experiences. This realization that life is short and unpredictable is the essence of Sat Samadhi and guided meditations. These techniques allow you to transcend the surface level stresses and realize the impermanence of external circumstances. Meditation teaches us that true peace comes from within, not from material achievements or even external recognition, much like how Pierre eventually finds joy not in wealth but in simplicity. This is what we aim for in Sehat Samadhi, a state of deep inner rest that brings lasting peace. The novel also highlights the complexities of human nature and the unpredictability of life. How does this relate to the practice of pranayama and controlling the mind through breath? Life's unpredictability is a recurring theme in War and Peace, and Tolstoy masterfully shows that we often have very little control over external events, as seen with Napoleon's invasion of Russia. Similarly, in our day to day lives, we may face many situations that cause stress or anxiety. Pranayama, the regulation of breath, is a powerful tool to help us regain control over our minds in such moments. As Prince Andrei experiences moments of clarity and self realization, we too, through pranayama, can bring stillness to the mind. Breath is the link between the body and mind, and by controlling the breath, we control the fluctuations of the mind. This is why practices like Trikal Sandhya and Sandhya Vandanam are so essential. They center us and remind us of the eternal cycle of life. Rituals such as Agni Karyam, Upanayanam, Gayatri Japa, and mantra chanting hold a deep place in the Vedic tradition. How do the lessons from War and Peace, like the importance of humility, forgiveness, and simplicity, resonate with these practices? The rituals we perform, whether it is Agni Karyam or Gayatri Japa, are all designed to bring us closer to the divine and cultivate humility. In War and Peace, characters like Prince Andrei and Natasha go through deep personal transformations. Andrei's journey teaches us the value of humility, especially when he realizes the futility of seeking personal glory in war. Similarly, through mantra chanting and pujas and homas, we surrender our ego and recognize the larger forces at play in life. Gayatri Japa, in particular, is a form of meditation and prayer that seeks divine wisdom, just as characters in the novel often seek higher understanding after forcing and facing personal and societal turmoil. These practices are rooted in humility and a desire for inner purity. Seva or selfless service is a core principle of the art of living. How do the lessons from War and Peace, like compassion and duty, inspire people to participate in seva through art of living's social projects and volunteer work? Compassion is at the heart of many characters' transformations in War and Peace. For example, Pierre's eventual realization that joy comes from helping others, not from wealth or status, is a perfect reflection of the art of living's seva work. When we engage in seva, we transcend our individual needs and act for the greater good, which is exactly what Tolstoy emphasizes in his characters' journeys. In Art of Living, this compassion manifests in the form of numerous social projects, whether it's organizing free meditation programs, teaching Sudarshan Kriya to underprivileged communities, or leading volunteer teams in disaster relief efforts. These acts of selfless service align perfectly with Tolstoy's message. True fulfillment comes not from personal ambition but from contributing to society. Through seva, we channel our energy into something greater, much like Prince Andrei realizes. When he lets go of his personal desires and focuses on the bigger picture. Finally, how do the learnings from War and Peace help people become better leaders and volunteers in organizing and teaching Art of Living courses? Leadership in War and Peace is often portrayed through characters who evolve through hardships, such as Prince Andrei and Pierre. Their journeys teach us that a good leader is one who learns from experience, practices self reflection, and leads by example. In the Art of Living, volunteers and teachers who organize courses need to embody these traits. Volunteering for programs like Sudarshan Kriya or Sehat Samadhi meditation requires commitment and the ability to inspire others, just as Pierre finds joy in helping others. Our volunteers find fulfillment in giving their time and effort to spread knowledge and uplift others. Through Tolstoy's lens, we see that true leadership comes not from authority but from empathy, humility, and service to others. Thank you both for these profound insights. It's clear that the lessons from War and Peace are deeply can deeply inform and enhance the spiritual practices and teachings of the art of living from individual sadhana to seva work. Thank you. Tolstoy's wisdom is timeless, and integrating these lessons into our practices only strengthens the sense of purpose and compassion that the art of living embodies. Jai Gurudev, and thank you for the in depth discussion so far. There are a few more profound lessons from War and Peace that we haven't covered yet. Let's continue by diving into how they can be applied to the art of living teachings and seva work. One of the core themes in War and Peace is the unpredictability of life and how characters eventually come to accept it. How does this lesson align with the practice of Sudarshan Kriya and guided meditation, especially in teaching individuals the importance of surrender? Life's uncertainty is a theme that resonates deeply in art of living practices. In Sudarshan Kriya, there is an emphasis on surrendering to the present moment, letting go of control and allowing the breath to guide us. The characters in War and Peace, especially Pierre and Andrei, eventually learn that life cannot be controlled and they find peace and acceptance. Similarly, through guided meditation, we encourage participants to let go of the need to control their thoughts and external circumstances. This practice of surrender helps individuals develop resilience and inner peace, much like Pierre, who finally finds contentment when he surrenders to life's flow despite the chaos around him. Compassionate leadership is another theme that emerges in War and Peace. How can Art of Living volunteers and teachers incorporate this into their leadership roles when organizing programs, teaching courses, and working in social projects? In War and Peace, characters like Kutuzov demonstrate the strength of compassionate leadership. Kutuzov leads by understanding the needs of his soldiers and not through force. This approach aligns perfectly with the way Art of Living teachers and volunteers should lead when organizing programs, whether it's a Sudarshan Kriya course or a Seva project. Compassionate leadership is key. It's about understanding the needs of the participants or the community and serving selflessly rather than leading with ego. In Art of Living, we emphasize that true leadership is about lifting others up, just as Kutuzov does what is best for his people. Art of Living volunteers must always act with compassion, putting service above personal gain. Ego plays a significant role in many of the characters' struggles in War and Peace. How does Art of Living address the issue of ego through practices like pranayama, Agni Karyam, and Sandhyavandanam? In War and Peace, characters like Napoleon are consumed by ego, leading to their downfall. In contrast, Prince Andreas' journey teaches us the importance of humility and letting go of ego. The art of living teaches this same principle. Pranayama helps dissolve the ego by calming the mind and allowing us to connect to something larger than ourselves. When we control our breath, we gain control over our ego driven thoughts and actions. Rituals like Agni Karyam and Sandhya Vandanam also play a key role in cultivating humility. These practices remind us of our place in the universe and the importance of surrendering to the divine. By performing these sacred rituals with devotion, we shed the layers of ego and embrace humility, much like Andreas' transformation in the novel. War and Peace shows how characters find strength in their communities, especially during times of war and hardship. How does this reflect in the Art of Living's approach to community building through courses, satsangs, and group activities? The sense of community and shared experience is integral to Art of Living's approach. In War and Peace, the characters who find support in each other, whether it's a family or comrades, are the ones who survive and grow. This is akin to how we structure our programs. In courses like Sudarshan Kriya and Sahat Samadhi meditation, the collective energy of a group enhances the individual's experience. Satsangs or spiritual gatherings with music and meditation foster a sense of community and connection, which is essential for personal and spiritual growth. Just as the Russian people band together in the face of adversity, participants in Art of Living programs grow and heal more effectively when they are part of a like minded supportive community. PRS's journey in War and Peace is a deep process of self reflection and analysis. How do Art of Living practices encourage this type of introspection, and why is it important? Pierce's constant search for meaning and self analysis is one of the novel's key narratives. This mirrors the self reflection that we encourage in Art of Living. Practices like Sahat Samadhi meditation and Sudarshan Kriya are designed to quiet the mind so that individuals can look inward. Through guided meditation, participants are encouraged to reflect on their thoughts and emotions just as Pierre reflects on his purpose in life. This process of introspection helps individuals identify and let go of what no longer serves them, allowing them to evolve and become more in tune with their true self. Another lesson from War and Peace is the transitory nature of power and material possessions, as seen in Pierre's and Natasha's transformations. How does this align with Art of Living's teachings on detachment and inner fulfillment? In the novel, Pierre initially believes that wealth and power will bring him happiness, but he later realizes the emptiness of this pursuit. Similarly, Art of Living teaches that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external achievements. Practices like Sahat Samadhi meditation and pranayama help individuals detach from the constant chase for material success and instant find inner joy and contentment. The teachings of detachment is core to Art of Living's philosophy. We often see participants experience a profound sense of liberation when they realize that external circumstances, whether wealth, power, or social status, are impermanent. Much like Pierce's ultimate realization, the Art of Living encourages people to focus on cultivating inner peace and wisdom rather than being caught up in the pursuit of material gains. One of the most poignant lessons in War and Peace is the importance of love and compassion in relationships. How does this reflect in Art of Living's approach to seva and volunteering for social causes? The relationships in War and Peace, particularly between characters like Natasha, Pierre, and Andrei, show the transformative power of love and compassion. This lesson is central to seva or selfless service in Art of Living. When we engage in seva, whether it's teaching Sudarshan Kriya to marginalized communities, organizing Sat Samadhi courses, or participating in social projects, we are driven by compassion. This compassion is not just for others, but for ourselves as well. By serving others, we cultivate empathy and build stronger, more meaningful connections, much like the characters in the novel learn to do. Seva is about giving from the heart, and through this, we experience the purest form of love, the same kind of love that Tolstoy emphasizes as being essential to living a fulfilled life. Thank you both for these insightful reflections. It's fascinating to see how Tolstoy's timeless lessons from War and Peace can be applied to meaningfully to the spiritual practices and community work of Art of Living. These teachings undoubtedly help individuals not only grow personally but also contribute compassionately to society through seva and leadership. Thank you. It's truly a testament to the universality of wisdom, whether from great literature or spiritual traditions, that these lessons can embrace the way we live, serve, and lead in the world. Jai Gurudev. Let's continue with the discussion of by incorporating the concept of satsang and addressing a few more key learnings from War and Peace that we haven't touched upon yet. One of the beautiful aspects of the Art of Living is the practice of satsang, which creates a deep sense of connection and spiritual upliftment through collective chanting and singing. How can the lessons from War and Peace enhance our understanding and participation in satsang? In War and Peace, there is a recurring theme of characters finding strength and solace in their communities. And how does this align with the concept of satsang, where individuals come together for a shared spiritual experience? The sense of community and connection is fundamental to both War and Peace and Art of Livingstone's concept of satsang. In the novel, characters rely on each other for support, especially during times of war and hardship. This mirrors what happens in a satsang. People from diverse backgrounds come together, transcending differences to create a collective energy that uplifts everyone present. In a satsang, when we sing bhajans, chant mantras, and meditate together, the collective energy creates a powerful spiritual atmosphere, much like how the characters in Tolstoy's work find comfort and strength in each other's presence. Satsang creates a deep sense of community where participants feel connected to something larger than themselves. This shared experience amplifies the spiritual journey, bringing peace and clarity to all those involved. Music plays a role in War and Peace, often reflecting the characters' emotions and providing comfort in difficult times. How does music and chanting in satsang facilitate emotional healing and spiritual growth? Yes, music is a universal language that resonates deeply with the soul. In War and Peace, Tolstoy uses music to express emotions that words sometimes cannot convey. Similarly, in Satsang, the bhajans and chants are not just songs, they are a form of prayer, a way to connect to the divine. The vibrations of these sounds have a profound effect on the mind and emotions, bringing about healing and peace. Much like the characters in the novel find solace in music, participants in satsang experience emotional release and spiritual upliftment through chanting and singing. The repetition of mantras and the melody of bhajans help quiet the mind, allowing individuals to tap into a deeper state of consciousness. The shared emotional experience strengthens the bond among participants and elevates their spiritual practice. In War and Peace, Pierre and other characters undergo profound transformations as they search for meaning in their lives. How can Art of Livingstone's practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Sehat Samadhi, and Seva help individuals find their purpose and navigate their own transformative journeys? Pierre's journey is a beautiful illustration of a seeker's path. He goes through phases of confusion, dissatisfaction, and eventually profound transformation. This is very much akin to what we see in the participants of Art of Living programs. Many people come to Sudarshan Kriya or Sahat Samadhi meditation seeking answers, peace, and purpose in their lives. The regular practice of sadhana, be it pranayama, meditation, or kriya, helps individuals quiet the mind and connect with their true selves. In this silence, people often find clarity about their purpose and direction in life. Individuals discover a deeper sense of purpose which is aligned with serving society and uplifting those around them. PRS's eventual realization that helping others brings them true happiness is reflected in the experience of many who participate in seva activities within the art of living, whether it's organizing courses, teaching, or contributing to social projects. Individuals come to understand that seva is not just an action but a state of being, where one's purpose is intertwined with the betterment of the world around them. In War and Peace, there is a strong sense of discipline and duty, especially with characters like Kutuzov, who embodies patience and trust in the process of life. How do the art of living practices like Trikal Sandhya, Upanayana, and Gayatri Japa instill self discipline and a sense of duty in individuals? Discipline is key in both Tolstoy's work and the practices we emphasize in Art of Living. Kutuzov, for example, shows that leadership and success come not through rash decisions but through patience, self discipline, and trust in the divine plan. This same approach is seen in the practice of Trikal Sandhya, 3 times a day prayer and reflection, Upanayam, the sacred thread ceremony, and Gayatri Japa, repetition of the Gayatri Mantra. These rituals are not just symbolic acts, they are designed to bring about self discipline, mindfulness, and a connection to one's higher purpose. By performing these practices regularly, individuals develop a sense of duty and responsibility towards themselves, their family, and society. Just like Kutuzov's patience ultimately leads to victory, these practices teach us the importance of consistent, disciplined effort in all aspects of life. One of the most striking aspects of War and Peace is how characters evolve through the challenges they face. How can Art of Living help individuals transform through adversity using practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama to build inner resilience? In War and Peace, characters like Prince Andrei and Pierre are profoundly shaped by the hardships they face. Their suffering leads to deep introspection and personal growth. This mirrors the transformation that happens in Art of Living programs. Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama are particularly powerful tools for dealing with stress, anxiety, and life's challenges. Through the rhythmic breathing techniques of Sudarshan Kriya, individuals release deep seated stress and negative emotions, which enables them to approach life's challenges with greater resilience and clarity. Pranayama helps balance the mind and body, fostering a calm and centered state that makes it easier to navigate difficult situations. Just as Pierre emerges stronger and wiser after his trials, participants in Art of Living programs often report feeling more empowered and capable of facing life's obstacles with a sense of peace and purpose. One of the key takeaways from War and Peace is the idea that true freedom comes from within, not from external circumstances. How do practices like Sahat Samadhi meditation and mantra chanting help individuals experience this inner freedom? Tolstoy shows us, especially through Pierce's journey, that external wealth, power, and status do not bring true freedom. Real freedom is found within through inner peace and detachment from worldly desires. This is exactly what Art of Living's Sahat Samadhi meditation and mantra chanting help cultivate. In Sahat Samadhi meditation, individuals go beyond a thinking mind and access a state of deep rest and inner stillness. This allows them to experience freedom from the constant chatter of the mind and the attachments that bind them to the external world. Similarly, mantra chanting focuses the mind and brings it to a state of stillness where one experiences a sense of liberation from the mundane distractions of life. By regularly practicing these techniques, individuals cultivate an inner space of peace and freedom, just like Pierre when he realizes that his true happiness does not lie in wealth or social status, but in a state of inner contentment. Finally, War and Peace portrays a deep sense of interconnectedness, showing how individual actions and decisions affect the larger fabric of society. How does this concept resonate with Art of Living's emphasis on collective consciousness and seva? In War and Peace, also beautifully illustrates how the lives of individuals are intertwined and how the decisions of one person can ripple through society. This is closely aligned with the Art of Living's philosophy of collective consciousness. We believe that every individual is part of a larger whole, and through our actions, we contribute to the well being of the world. This is why Seva is such an integral part of Art of Living. When we engage in selfless service, whether it's teaching Sudarshan Kriya, leading a satsang, or participating in social projects, we are contributing to the upliftment of the entire community, just as the characters in War and Peace realize that their fates are interconnected. Art of Living participants understand that by serving others, they are also serving themselves because we are all part of one universal consciousness. Thank you for tying in these remaining lessons from War and Peace with the spiritual practices of Art of Living. It's inspiring to see how timeless wisdom from literature can align so seamlessly with the teachings and practices that foster inner growth, resilience, and compassionate service. Thank you. The integration of these lessons truly highlights the universality of human experiences and how spiritual practices can help us navigate life with grace, purpose, and a deep sense of interconnectedness. Jai Gurudev. Let's continue and dive deeper into the remaining learnings from War and Peace that we haven't covered yet, while exploring how these insights can further enhance the practices and teachings of Art of Living. We will continue tying them to Seva, Sadhana, and Satsang and how they inspire individuals in their journey of inner transformation. One of the profound messages in War and Peace is the importance of forgiveness. How can this lesson be applied in Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama practices, and how do these techniques help individuals let go of grudges and embrace inner peace? Forgiveness is a central theme in War and Peace, especially in the relationships between characters like Pierre and Natasha. Holding on to grudges weighs you down the mind and it prevents individuals from experiencing true freedom and peace. In the context of Art of Living, practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama play a vital role in helping people release negative emotions such as anger and resentment. The rhythmic breathing techniques in Sudarshan Kriya work at a cellular level, releasing deep seated stress and emotional baggage. As individuals breathe through the Kriya, they often find themselves naturally letting go of the burdens they have been carrying, much like Pierre, who eventually forgives himself and others, finding peace within. Pranayama helps calm the mind and brings a sense of clarity, allowing individuals to see the bigger picture and move towards forgiveness. Tolstoy's novel emphasizes the transient nature of life, with characters experiencing both war and peace, victory and loss. How do Art of Living's teachings such as Sahat Samadhi meditation and satsang help individuals embrace the impermanence of life and stay grounded amidst change? War and Peace beautifully illustrates the ebb and flow of life with its ups and downs. This theme of impermanence is central to many spiritual teachings, including those in Art of Living. Through Sehat Samadhi meditation, individuals learn to access a deep state of stillness which is unaffected by the external fluctuations of life. Meditation helps individuals realize that peace is not dependent on outer circumstances. It is something that exists within. This inner awareness helps them stay grounded even in times of great change. Similarly, satsang, where people come together to chant and meditate, creates a space of collective support and stability. No matter how chaotic life may seem, the practice of satsang reminds us that the soul remains constant and untouched by the impermanence of the material world. In War and Peace, Tolstoy explores the tension between free will and destiny, a question that has intrigued humanity for centuries. How does the art of living guide individuals to balance their own efforts with surrendering to the flow of life, especially through Sehat Samadhi, Trikal Sandhya, and Gayatri Japa? The balance between free will and destiny is a profound concept that Tolstoy explores in the novel, and it is also reflected in spiritual teachings. Art of living practices such as Sehat Samadhi meditation, Trikal Sandhya, and Gayatri Japa help individuals reconcile these two forces. In Sehat Samadhi, we let go of the mind's efforts and simply surrender to the natural flow of meditation. This teaches us that while we have control over our actions, there is also a divine force that guides the outcome. Trikal Sandhya and Gayatri Japa emphasize the importance of aligning oneself with the higher will through daily rituals and prayers, but also remind us to trust in the cosmic order. By doing our part with commitment and surrendering the rest to the divine, we find a harmonious balance between free will and destiny, much like Pierre in the novel. We realize that while we have the power to make choices, there is also a grander plan at work. Another important lesson from War and Peace is the search for meaning in suffering. Characters like Prince Andra and Pierre undergo great hardship, but it is through the suffering that they find deeper purpose. How do art of living practices such as Sudarshan Kriya and Seva help individuals find meaning in their own struggles? Suffering often acts as a catalyst for personal transformation. As we see in War and Peace, both Prince Andra and Pierre find deeper meaning and purpose in their lives after facing great adversity. Similarly, in art of living practices like Sudarshan Kriya help individuals process their pain and find clarity in the midst of struggle. The release of stress through Kriya allows people to see their challenges from a different perspective. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, they begin to understand that adversity is a part of growth. Seva or selfless service also plays a crucial role in this transformation. By helping others, individuals transcend their own suffering and find fulfillment in serving a greater cause. As Pierre discovers after his imprisonment, there is great meaning in selfless service to others, which is a central tenet of the art of living. Tolstoy presents the idea that true wisdom often comes with humility and the dissolution of the ego. How can practices like satsang, sadhana, and seva help individuals cultivate humility and overcome the ego? In War and Peace, characters who are driven by ego and pride often face the greatest downfalls. It is only when they embrace humility that they find true wisdom and peace. In art of living, practices like satsang, sadhana, and seva are designed to help individuals dissolve this ego and cultivate humility. In satsang, we come together as a community, realizing that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. This collective experience naturally humbles us as we see that our individual concerns are just a small part of the larger whole. Sadhana or spiritual practice also teaches humility by showing us the limitations of the mind and body and by connecting us to a higher consciousness. Finally, seva is one of the most powerful ways to overcome the ego. By serving others selflessly, we move beyond our own desires and attachments, and we realize that true fulfillment comes from contributing to the well being of others. Just as Pierre and Prince Andrei learn to let go of their ego driven ambitions, satsang, sadhana, and seva help individuals release their attachment to their ego and embrace a life of humility and service. Love and compassion are central themes in War and Peace, especially the love for humanity and that grows in characters like Natasha and Pierre. How does the art of living philosophy and practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Seva foster a deeper sense of love and compassion for others? Tolstoy's portrayal of love in War and Peace is incredibly profound, especially as characters move from personal romantic love to a broader, more universal love for humanity. In art of living practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation and Seva foster this same transformation. Through Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, individuals clear the layers of stress, fear, and negativity that often block their ability to love fully and unconditionally. These practices open the heart and create a space for love and compassion to naturally flow. Seva amplifies this by giving individuals the opportunity to express their love through action by serving others without any expectation in return. Just as Pierre and Natasha eventually discover that true happiness lies in loving and serving others, Art of Living participants find that the more they engage in sadhana and seva, the more their hearts open and they experience a deeper sense of love and compassion for all beings. Thank you for this insightful conversation. It's incredible to see how Tolstoy's teachings from War and Peace can be applied to Art of Living practices, helping individuals lead a life filled with purpose, love, humility, and inner peace. Thank you. It's truly a testament to the universal nature of these teachings and how, whether through literature or spiritual practice, the search for meaning, peace, and service continues to guide us all. Jai Gurudev. Let's now explore the remaining lessons from War and Peace that have not yet been integrated yet. These points will offer us more profound insights into Art of Living's teachings, focusing on the practices like sadhana, satsang, sudarshan, kriya, pranayama, meditation, and seva. How do these lessons further enrich one's spiritual journey, especially when it comes to compassion, leadership, and volunteering and organizing courses and involvement in social projects? A significant learning from War and Peace is the sense of responsibility and leadership, as exemplified by characters like Kutuzov and Pierre. How can these lessons help in shaping leaders within the Art of Living community, especially in organizing courses and leading Seva projects? In War and Peace, characters like Kutuzov demonstrate that true leadership involves humility, foresight, and the ability to serve the greater good. Kutuzov's calm, strategic approach during battles shows how critical it is to lead with wisdom rather than ego within the Art of Living. This type of leadership is essential when guiding teams, organizing courses, or managing social projects. Seva teaches us that a true leader is one who can rise above personal gain and focus on the welfare of others. In this way, participants in Art of Living programs learn to lead from the heart using compassion and selflessness as guiding principles, just as Pierre, after much inner turmoil, eventually discovers his purpose in serving others. As volunteers, teachers, and of course, course organizers, individuals in the Art of Living community are encouraged to take responsibility with humility, recognizing that their role is to uplift and support others. The practices of sadhana and meditation also help cultivate the clarity and balance required for effective leadership, enabling individuals to lead by example and inspire others to join in the service of humanity. Tolstoy's emphasizes the strength that comes from unity and community, especially during times of hardship. How does the concept of satsang and Art of Living create a sense of unity and support that helps individuals overcome challenges in their personal and spiritual lives? In War and Peace, unity plays a key role in the characters' ability to withstand challenges, whether it's the soldiers standing together in battle or the families coming together in times of loss. Satsang in Art of Living serves a similar purpose. When people come together to meditate, chant, and share knowledge, they form a collective energy that is far greater than the sum of its parts. Satsang creates a sense of belonging and community, reminding individuals that they are not alone in their journey. This collective support helps individuals stay strong and positive even when facing personal challenges. It also reinforces the understanding that we are all connected, just as the characters in War and Peace realize that their actions affect the larger fabric of society. In Satsang, the shared experience of chanting and meditation allows individuals to draw strength from one another, creating an environment of support and positivity. This unity is a powerful force for overcoming obstacles and continuing on the spiritual path with renewed energy and purpose. Compassion is a recurring theme in War and Peace, especially in the way Pierre and Natasha grow to care deeply for others. How does Sudarshan Kriya and meditation help cultivate compassion both for oneself and for others? And how does this translate into seva work and social service? Compassion is indeed one of the most transformative aspects of War and Peace. Characters like Pierre and Natasha evolved from focusing on their personal desires to caring deeply for others. In Art of Living, practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation are essential in cultivating this sense of compassion. When individuals practice Sudarshan Kriya, they release accumulated stress, which often manifests as anger, frustration, or fear. As these layers of negativity are removed, what remains is the natural state of love and compassion. This inner transformation makes it easier for individuals to connect with others and understand their struggles. Moreover, meditation brings a deep sense of peace and clarity, allowing individuals to move beyond their personal concerns and develop empathy for those around them. This compassion naturally translates into seva, where individuals feel called to serve others selflessly, just as Pierre found fulfillment in helping people, his fellow prisoners, art of living practitioners find meaning in social service, whether it's through organizing courses, teaching, or volunteering in humanitarian projects. Tolstoy illustrates how characters must learn to accept uncertainty and trust the process, especially during times of war and personal crisis. How does this lesson align with Art of Living's teachings on surrender, especially through practices like Sehat Samadhi meditation and pranayama? War and Peace indeed teaches us that life is full of uncertainty, and the ability to trust the process is essential for inner peace. In the Art of Living, Sehat Samadhi meditation and pranayama are key practices that help individuals develop this trust. In Sehat Samadhi meditation, individuals experience a deep state of surrender where they let go of the need to control outcomes and simply rest in the present moment. This practice helps cultivate faith in the natural flow of life, much like the characters in Tolstoy's novel who learn to trust in the larger unfolding of events. Pranayama, with its focus on rhythmic breathing, also helps calm the mind and reduce anxiety about a future, allowing individuals to embrace the present with a sense of ease. Trusting the process is a vital lesson for anyone involved in seva or social work as well. Often, the outcomes of service projects are not immediate, and volunteers must have faith that their efforts are making a difference, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Another key theme in War and Peace is the importance of self reflection and inner growth. Characters like Pierre and Prince Andrei undergo profound transformations through introspection. How does the practice of sadhana, including daily Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa, support this process of inner reflection and growth? Self reflection is indeed a cornerstone of personal growth, both in War and Peace and in spiritual practice. And Art of Living Sadhana is the vehicle for this inner reflection. Practices like Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa offer structured moments of introspection where individuals can connect with their inner self and reflect on their actions, thoughts, and emotions. These daily rituals create a sacred space for self exploration, much like Pierce's moments of deep introspection in the novel. Through Gayatri Japa, individuals focus their mind on higher consciousness, allowing them to transcend the ego and gain clarity on life's purpose. Sandhya Vandanam helps align the individual's actions with the cosmic rhythms of the day, promising and promoting balance and harmony. By engaging in these practices regularly, individuals cultivate the ability to look inward and within, learn from their experiences, and grow spiritually. This process of self reflection is essential for anyone involved in seva or leadership, as it helps maintain clarity, purpose, and alignment with one's higher goals. One final lesson from War and Peace is the pursuit of Yes, one final lesson from War and Peace is the importance of resilience and perseverance, especially during times of hardship. How does Art of Living help individuals develop these qualities, particularly through long term sadhana and seva? Resilience and perseverance are qualities that are cultivated over time both in Tolstoy's characters and in Art of Living practitioners. In War and Peace, characters like Prince Andrei and Natasha demonstrate incredible resilience in the face of loss and adversity. Similarly, in the Art of Living, practitioners are encouraged to develop inner strength and perseverance through consistent sadhana and seva. Sadhana provides the foundation for resilience by committing to daily practices such as pranayama, meditation, and sudarshan kriya. Individuals build mental and emotional strength, enabling them to face challenges with courage and grace. These practices create a reservoir of inner peace and stability that can be drawn upon during difficult times. Seva or selfless service also plays a key role in developing resilience by stepping outside of one's personal struggles and focusing on the welfare of others. Individuals gain perspective and strength. Seva teaches perseverance because it often involves long term commitment and dedication, whether it's organizing courses, leading projects, or volunteering in humanitarian affairs. This perseverance is not driven by ego, but by a deep sense of purpose and compassion. Thank you once again for sharing these valuable insights. It's clear that the lessons from War and Peace offer profound wisdom that complements and enriches the spiritual practices of art of living, whether it's through cultivating inner peace, transcending the ego, or developing resilience. These teachings provide a roadmap for living a life of purpose, service, and fulfillment. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to discuss these timeless lessons and explore how they resonate with the core teachings of Art of Living, Jagudev. One final lesson from War and Peace is the pursuit of happiness, which many characters discover comes from serving others rather than pursuing personal pleasures. How do Art of Living practices and Seva help individuals find lasting happiness through service? This one is one of the most important lessons from War and Peace. Characters like Pierre and Natasha eventually realize that true happiness comes not from material wealth or personal pleasures, but from serving others and contributing to the well being of society. In the Art of Living, this realization is cultivated through both spiritual practices and seva. Through practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation, individuals experience an inner joy that is independent of external circumstances. This inner joy naturally leads to a desire to share that happiness with others, which is where seva comes in. By engaging in selfless service, individuals experience a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness, much like the characters in War and Peace who find purpose in helping others. Art of Living teaches that happiness is not something to be pursued externally. It is something that arises naturally when we live a life of service, love, and compassion, whether it's through organizing courses, teaching, or participating in humanitarian projects. Individuals who engage in seva often find that their own happiness grows as they contribute to the happiness of others. Thank you for this enriching conversation. It's fascinating to see how Tolstoy's timeless lessons from War and Peace can deepen our understanding of the spiritual practices within Art of Living, helping individuals find peace, purpose, and happiness through service, self reflection, and community. The wisdom in these teachings truly transcends time and culture, guiding us all towards a more compassionate, purposeful, and fulfilling life, Jai Gurudev. As we continue to explore the deeper teachings from War and Peace in the context of Art of Living practices, we can further dive into the remaining lessons from the novel. These lessons hold great relevance when connected to sadhana, seva, and the various tools of transformation like Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, Trikal Sandhya, and other spiritual practices. Let's go through the remaining points. Tolstoy often highlights the theme of impermanence, showing how characters must adapt to changes in their lives, whether it's through the loss of loved ones or changing fortunes. How does the acceptance of impermanence help Art of Living practitioners, particularly through practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Sahat Samadhi meditation? The theme of impermanence is central to both Tolstoy's philosophy and Art of Living's spiritual teachings. In War and Peace, characters like Prince Andrei experience their deep personal transformations when they accept the transient nature of life. Similarly, in Art of Living, Sudarshan Kriya and Sehat Samadhi meditation help individuals accept impermanence with grace. In Sudarshan Kriya, the rhythmic breath work helps individuals and dissolve accumulated stress and clears the mind, allowing practitioners to realize that life's challenges are passing phenomenon. This acceptance of life's fleeting nature allows for deeper peace and contentment. Sehat Samadhi meditation, with its emphasis on deep rest and effortless meditation, teaches individuals to surrender their attachments to outcomes and embrace the present moment. This understanding of impermanence not only helps individuals deal with personal challenges, but also fosters resilience in seva work. Volunteers and leaders in Art of Living courses learn to adapt to changing circumstances, ensuring they remain effective and compassionate regardless of external conditions. Another key lesson from War and Peace is the tension between personal desires and higher purposes. Characters like Pierre struggle to reconcile their personal ambitions with the desire to serve a greater good. How does this conflict reflect in the lives of those practicing Art of Living, and how do spiritual practices help resolve this tension? This inner conflict between personal desires and higher purpose is something many people experience both in Tolstoy's novel and in real life. Characters like Pierre seek personal fulfillment but ultimately find meaning in serving others. In Art of Living, the practices of pranayama, sadhana, and meditation provide a way to align personal desires with a higher purpose. Pranayama helps balance the mind and body, creating harmony between personal goals and the greater good. Through regular sadhana, daily spiritual practice, practitioners become more attuned to their higher calling, often realizing that true fulfillment comes from contributing to society and helping others. This tension is also resolved through Seva, where individuals find that selfless service brings a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment than pursuing ambitions alone. Just as Pierre finds his purpose in helping others, those in the Art of Living community often discover that their highest calling lies in uplifting others through their spiritual practices and societal contributions. One of the more subtle but powerful themes in War and Peace is forgiveness. Characters like Natasha and Prince Andrei show how letting go of grudges and resentment leads to personal freedom. How does forgiveness play a role in Art of Living teachings? And how do practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation help individuals cultivate this quality? Forgiveness is an essential aspect of personal and spiritual freedom in War and Peace. Characters like Natasha go through deep emotional struggles but find peace through the act of forgiving themselves and others. Similarly, in Art of Living, forgiveness is seen as a key to inner peace and happiness. Sudarshan Kriya is a powerful tool in helping individuals release negative emotions, including anger and resentment. By cleansing the mind and body of these accumulated stresses, individuals are naturally inclined to forgive. Holding on to grudges only harms the individual carrying the burden, and through Sudarshan Kriya, practitioners learn to let go of these toxic emotions. Meditation also plays a crucial role through the deep silence and stillness that meditation offers. Individuals can gain a broader perspective on life's challenges, realizing that forgiveness is not only for the benefit of others but also for one's own well being. This shift in perspective enables participants to approach seva and social work with an open heart, free of resentment or personal agendas. Tolstoy's narrative often contrasts the inner turmoil of his characters with the chaos of the world around them. How can art of living practices, particularly Trikal Sandhya and Pranayama, help individuals find inner peace in the midst of external challenges? This is a critical aspect of both Tolstoy's work and Art of Living's teachings. In War and Peace, we see characters like Prince Andrei and Pierre struggle to maintain inner calm amidst the external chaos of war and personal crisis. Similarly, in modern life, individuals are often faced with stress, uncertainty, and external pressures. The recall sandhya is a powerful practice that helps individuals connect with the cosmic energies during different times of the day, dawn, noon, and dusk. By aligning oneself with these natural cycles, practitioners find inner peace and balance regardless of external circumstances. This practice brings a sense of harmony between the individual and the universe, making it easier to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. Pranayama also plays a crucial role in maintaining inner calm. The controlled rhythmic breathing techniques help regulate the nervous system, reducing stress and anxiety. This inner peace not only benefits the individual but also enhances their ability to serve others through seva. Just as Tolstoy's characters find strength in their inner calm, Art of Living practitioners use these techniques to remain centered and compassionate, even in the face of adversity. Tolstoy explores how characters must transcend their egos to achieve personal growth, especially in the cases of Pierre and Prince Andrei. How does the art of living address the transcendence of ego, and how do practices like Sehat Samadhi meditation and Gayatri Japa contribute to this process? The transcendence of ego is a central theme in both War and Peace and the Art of Living philosophy. In the novel, characters like Pierre undergo profound transformation as they let go of their ego driven desires and attachments. Similarly, in Art of Living, spiritual practices are designed to help individuals transcend the ego and connect with their true nature. Said Samadhi meditation is particularly effective in this regard. The effortless practice allows individuals to slip into a state of deep rest where the mind becomes quiet and the ego dissolves. In this state, practitioners experience their true egoless self, one that is free, expansive, and connected to the universal consciousness. Gayatri Japa, the repetitive chanting of the Gayatri Mantra, also helps transcend the ego by focusing the mind on the divine. This sacred mantra invokes higher consciousness, allowing practitioners to move beyond their limited self identities and experience the oneness of all creation. This shift in awareness helps individuals approach seva with humility and selflessness, understanding that they are merely instruments of a higher purpose, just as Pierre realizes that his life is meant for serving the greater good. Jai Gurudev, thank you very much.